saw an article by a guy called Phil at Shortlist Marketing. Very, very smart guy. Absolutely worth going to kind of check him out. And it was talking about kind of kind of data. And data, I think, has become almost a dirty word. And with GDPR and buying. There was a time 4 or 5 years ago, where people were buying lists and just kind of smashing the hell out of them. And it's sort of got a bad name, but. With this article, he's absolutely right on the money, and he's going to say that data is the cheapest thing you'll buy and the most expensive thing that you won't buy. And do you know what? He's right on the money, because a couple of kind of truths which hopefully kind of make are completely clear to you already. But if you do not have a proper list, as in kind of almost like a physical list and an ability to speak to a list of the perfect target markets, and that's not companies, that's the people in the companies or whoever it is you sell to, if it's B2B, B2C, those actual people. If you do not have that, everything else becomes moot, because you don't know what to say, to who, about what, in what format, and everything else from there kind of falls out, because it simply can't be done. And actually, one of the weird things I see is that people are spending, rightly, loads and loads of money on their marketing. That's a good thing. But they won't spend any money on working out who they should be sending it to. They're not going to spend any money on making sure that the right person in the right company is seeing the thing. And this is why I think he's right on the money with that phrase, because buying data, and I don't mean just buying a list. One of the things that Phil does is that he will go and find the people and then do the work, put the time in to speak to those people, verify that data, make sure it's the right people, right details, Because once and I guess there's always an investment with this kind of thing, but once you've got that becomes the most valuable thing, because then you've got actual people to speak to. And it is a kind of hugely cheap thing to buy, because if you have it, every other bit of marketing becomes like 20 times cheaper, because you're not second guessing, you're not hoping the right people, you're not just putting stuff out there and kind of hoping the right set of eyes fall it. You've got that. So it is the cheapest thing you'll buy, and therefore conversely, if you don't have this stuff, and if you're just one of those people that shout into their ear or kind of pretending to do it or whatever it is, it becomes massively expensive if you don't buy it, because every bit of marketing is, and I can't say it's a waste of time, but every bit of marketing is like hopeful, it's fishing. I've got a list of people that I know categorically are interested in growing their businesses. So I can talk to stuff about them, and I can niche it down, and I know what to say, how to say it, to the right, what's relevant to them. And I still find it weird, particularly with the ease of collection these days. And yes, it's not a GDPR thing, but with the ease of collecting data, the ease of being able to get hold of this stuff, it is just the cheapest thing you'll buy, because everything else from it becomes massively cheap. Whereas if you don't have it, you're just pouring money, and time and energy and all the other kind of crap that goes with it. Is that into something where you still literally have no idea if the people that you really want to see this are going to see it. Yeah,
I agree totally. I think one of the best exercises I do with clients is a thing called the ideal client exercise, right? So people never think kind of big enough. They're always kind of quite constrained by the context of their workplace or the vocation or what they've done before, right? So trying to get them to do an ideal client exercise and make it daft, right? Like ask stupid questions in it, like if you want them to pay on time, if you want them to be in the town that you're in, because that would be super easy, right? But nobody ever has that picture of the ideal client. And very, very few people that I know work with an ideal client. Yeah. Right? They're not unicorns. They exist, but they're out there somewhere. Do you know what I mean? They're hard to find, the ideal client. But if you aim for the ideal client, there's people you will reach, the clients you get on the way to that will be less. But a quick way of getting to an ideal client is via a data purchase, right? Because there's a lot of data out there, and you can pretty much tailor it to whatever you need, or at least your educated best guess, right? And then it comes down to the traditional marketing stuff that we won't get into, like do segmentation properly, like who do you need to reach, and then target them.
And the data purchase, it's not a smash and grab thing. It's not about using a company to get and build, or doing it yourself, build that really thing and just smash it. You still have all the normal rules apply, but what it does mean is that the stuff that you're getting out there is being seen by the right people first and foremost, because that's the only bit. Kind of any bit of cold marketing, any first step of marketing, it has to be seen by the right people. And you've got two options. You either go and fish for it and hope, and you kind of bang it out on LinkedIn, or you bang it out on Facebook. None of those things are a bad thing to do. But if you have a clear picture of who your target market is, you can go to them. You can go and do that normal thing of have a conversation. And that starts in all sorts of different ways. And, with a lot of the stuff that we'll do, when we do this, we'll find the right data, get really clear, do all that pre-prep work so we know it's the right people. And then I'll probably put something on their desk. And then I might follow that up with a phone call to check they've had the thing. And then I might send them that, a kind of a case study kind of thing, hey, Paul, I hope you got the box, blah, 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 blah. I thought this might put a bit more meat on the bones of what we do. Excuse me, it's very nice, it's very touchy-feely, it's very normal human conversation here rather than smash and grab. But it means that any money I'm spending, I know is being seen by the people I want to see it. And this is not a B2B thing. It's not a B2C. This is kind of any kind of customer. It's easy to find this stuff. Some are always easier than others, but I think particularly if you're any kind of B2B world, the people are there. The information is there. Go and speak to the information. Go and kind of put stuff out there. And there's an inarguability. Is that a word? Inarguability.
Yeah.
The smart guys that like mine now, they're just nodding. I think that unarguability doesn't matter. You can't argue with it once you've got proper, perfect list of people, because every other question of what to send and how is kind of answered by that. And if the thing that you're doing doesn't work, for whatever reason it is, and you've got to remember, marketing is just a series of tests. If the thing that you're doing doesn't work, well, you have two options. You either decide for it to work for a different target market, or you change the thing. And we're back into strategy and tactics. Is what do I need to do to sit down with these people? Well, I'll try this and I'll do that, and if this works, I'll tweak that. And you just, this is how you build up a sustainable thing. And a load of the guys that I work with will have, someone in their office that is sending out 10 boxes a month to 10 clients, and they'll send out this video to those, and and they just follow it along a process, and it just becomes this kind of sustainable process. And that's the holy grail of marketing for me, is that when actually you have confidence that the thing you're putting out is bringing in cash.
It's that right message to the right people at the right time thing, right?
And it's weird because you ask people and they'll oh yeah, I know my target market, and they'll say a thing, and they'll say like, well, SMEs. You think, well, it can't be SMEs because there are too many. It's too wide a thing. It's I can think of like 5 or 6, 7 of us that are all kind of hanging out that all in theory go to SMEs, but trying for us to get a market, a message to all SMEs, it's just not going to work. Oh, I'm an SME, you're an SME, my dad's an SME. It just doesn't fit. Yeah. And as such, because there's so much noise, it'll just get lost in there.
It's that traditional thing that marketing's been about since whenever it was invented in the 40s or whatever. Segmentation, do good segmentation, target the people within the segments with a good message, and then do positioning stuff like people know why they should buy from you, right? So STP. Segment and target and position. Nice. It's like the most classic thing.
It is
marketing 101, isn't it?
It's almost makes me want to say, look, if you are marketing now and you don't have this list of people, stop. Put your time, energy, effort, and money into building. Find the right people. And it can be as simple as Google them and give them a call and find out these right people. Because once you've got that, then that the pound that you're spending to go and get them is to the right person, and actually you'll spend a lot less, because even if you found a perfect target customer, instead of spending £100 on let's just say Facebook, you could spend like £5 per person to go to 10 of them. So it's a £50 spend, but you're asking yourself, well, look, what is most likely to get seen by the people? And I think it is. It's just an odd thing, and I suppose it's not an odd thing. It's one of the things that you perhaps just don't think about, but not having that list just changes everything. And it's so easy to do, it's so cheap to do. And can I ask yourself this, because even the guys that say they have that list, I'm going to go a bit a step further now. If you ask them, look, how much of your marketing is actually for and about and relevant to the challenges of that person, as opposed to generic stuff? And it's there, there's so much to think about in business. There's so much to do. There's so many things that kind of need to get done. This takes a massive amount away because everything just fits in behind it. Once you know those people, once you know what makes them tick, what's important, how do they see the challenges that you fix? Once you've got all that, everything else just becomes dead easy.
Agreed.
Go and find yourself a list.
A list.